G'day there, podcaster.
Yeah, little bonus bit from Belle here. This is just something that didn't
Belle's
make...
bonus bit.
Belle's bonus bit. Belly Banana's bonus bit.
Belly Banana's big bonus bit.
Bam! Too big for your ears. Pow!
Pow pow.
We can be a little bit looser. We can start it this sort of way because it's just a podcast.
Imagine
no, I
if
just
that's how we
realised.
started the radio show.
Good morning, Melbourne.
You know what happened? We would either, to be honest, we would either absolutely die in the ratings
And lose our job.
or we would go number one. I don't know what would happen. Probably the first option.
People have got like shirts being like, "Oh yeah, I love that show."
Well,
I was realising,
we are
Belle,
doing it now. So yeah.
We
Yeah,
looking
but-
at what you're wearing and what I'm wearing today. We were talking about SAS Australia a bit. We almost look like contestants on that show.
Oh, because we both have cargo pants on.
But you're wearing like camouflage ones with like a grey shirt, so you look
Yes.
like you belong. And I'm wearing sort of an
Like an army green, yeah.
shirt with
What do I look
black
like?
cargo.
What have you got on?
Actually, to be honest, your jumper could also be.
Yeah.
We could
You're
all be on.
prisoner.
We all look like we're 3 days in on
Yeah.
SAS Australia.
So
would
really-
you do that show if they said
Absolutely.
you would do that?
Absolutely.
Would you do it, Bill?
Yeah, I would.
I think that's one of the cooler ones, even though we're
Yeah.
ragging it today, it's one of the cooler ones to do. But it's funny, I was looking on the list because I was like, trying to remember all the people who are on it. I remember they always have controversial people. And there's some people so controversial that it's sort of still murky territory, so I didn't even point
Yeah.
those particular people out. But they know who they are, and you know who they are. But it's funny on it, because I've never actually watched a full episode, but there's so many people that just leave by choice. Like, there's like...
No, the whole thing is you have to try and stay on the show, and if you survive to the end, you win. But
Yeah.
if you leave, you can leave whenever you want, but if you leave, you're out of the show.
Yeah, but like most, and then there's some people that are culled. I don't know what culled means, but normally,
Ah.
like Faraz Durrani was culled.
I think you're just not good.
Roxy
I think-
Jasenko was culled,
I
and
think
then
it's if you can't keep up with
Yeah.
the pack, they'll call you and say, like, you might not quit, but they'll be like, you're out because
Yeah.
you can't keep up.
which is better than that. That's like a coach throwing in the towel for you, I
Yeah.
suppose. But at least you didn't give up.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I reckon it would be actually like, some of the stuff they do is actually like looks pretty hectic, like pretty scary.
Oh yeah. Totally.
You know?
Like
But then
what?
it's TV. I'm like, how much is real?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It looks like it looks still pretty hectic. Like rather than singing, like you know when you like people like jumping off a cliff onto a rope, that like the helicopters
Yeah.
sort of.
But there's also they can't do things that would actually kill them. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's why I
there's
think
gotta
it's,
be-
surely
but
it's not a
there's
live
some
grenade.
sort of-
But if
It's
you're
not a
doing
live
stuff,
grenade.
but what they do is they play on phobias. So being buried alive doesn't
That would
matter,
not be fun.
Doesn't matter how brave you are.
Bit of fun.
Fear still that doesn't matter. You can say that, but fear will set in if you're
Yeah.
buried
Especially if it's
alive.
actually
Yeah,
hot and
yeah.
you're in there and you're like, okay, I don't like
Yeah,
this.
the only thing you
Yeah.
can do is focus. I reckon is focus
Yes.
on not letting your heart rate rise.
Yeah.
As soon as you start to panic, you run out of oxygen.
Even, you know, when they just do a thing where it's just like, oh, just hold your backpack above your head. But if
Yeah.
you've got 12
Yeah.
other people there and you're like, oh, I don't want to be a little bitch and drop it first, and then like everyone's watching on TV, so
Yeah.
you'd be like,
I've-
you'd push yourself harder than you usually would.
Never watched a whole series, but I did watch a couple of episodes with Chappelle Corby,
Yeah.
and she physically just couldn't do it. They did a thing where they were in the sand dunes and they had their bags above their head and they had to run back and forth. She just couldn't do it.
You're saying she's not fit?
And then
Wow.
she couldn't, and that was it. That was when she threw in the towel because she couldn't run from one end to the other with the bag, and she's like, she gave up.
But lung capacity's not great.
Yeah.
All the bongs, maybe.
Yeah, too many bombs.
Well, I guess we're out of time now, and I can't do my bonus
No, you can
bit.
do it.
No, you can do your
it's
bonus
fine.
bit.
It's supposed to be my bonus bit.
It's literally with 3 minutes 30 into a podcast.
Well, you guys know that.
I guess you're right. We ran out of
No,
time.
there we
yeah,
go.
probably right.
There it is. There
Okay,
it is.
go on.
Do it.
You know, I've made a few.
Sorry, Bill. Ran out of time.
It's not funny once you do it 50 times.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, now I don't want to.
No, go on.
No, I
I
don't
want to
want
hear
to.
it. I want to hear
No.
it. I want to hear it.
You know.
Ah.
Oh my God.
I think he was always going to get a third one
Yes,
out.
of course
He was always going to get a
He's
third
so
one out.
freaking predictable.
But I think fourth,
same
fourth
gag.
time
I
is
am not
probably a charm.
predictable. What am I going to do next? You didn't see that coming, did you?
Never let him know your next move. Ben's always said that.
No, you can do it, Ethel.
No, I don't want to. You know.
I'm not going to do anything, I swear to God.
You know how I have made a few effing.
No, whatever you
stupid-
do now, there has to be really
I don't
funny.
want to do it anymore.
Okay,
We
fine.
always stack so much pressure on your bonus bits.
Yeah, we do.
It's like it's actually nice that you've come to the table. With
Yeah,
bonus
and
bits.
I
appreciate it.
I thought you'd enjoy this one, but now I'm like, well,
I think I still will. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't think we're not even
You
at the
said it was a
5-minute
little
mark.
bit rude, which got my
Yes.
attention.
so you know how I've made a few new friends at the gym. Yes. So I have a friend there called Abby, and she is an ambo. and
Cambo friend.
she has some wild stories that I have just like all the time. She'll be like, she'll come straight from doing night shift and she'll be exhausted. And I'm like, how was your night? Just, you normally go, oh, how was work or whatever. But when you ask her, like, how's work? She just comes back with the most wild stuff. Like, she'll be like, oh, yeah, no, like, I just had to save someone that, like, fell down the stairs and split their whole head open. But they were fine. And then we got called to someone who had a headache. It's like, what the hell? Like, there
But
are
surely they
people
get charged for that.
They do, but she said the like majority is people just calling an ambulance, which I know they have ads for that now saying please don't use the services. She has a lot of people just call and say like, oh, I feel a bit sick. Or
I
like,
honestly
oh.
feel like even if I broke my leg or something, you'd be like, oh, do you reckon I can get away with someone driving me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it feels so like, oh, it's inexpensive and it's a bit of a
Totally.
fuss.
No,
and...
there are people out there that just call because they're like, oh, I have a headache. Anyway, but the other day I was like, oh, how was work? And she goes, oh, funniest thing happened. She had a 78-year-old man who, very sad, he'd like had a fall and he was like outside and he fell over and
It was
he
so
couldn't get back
funny.
up. And so she had him in the back of the ambulance and they were racing to the hospital.
Did she drive?
She does both.
That's cool.
So they switch. And she goes, yeah. And she was in the back with him this time. And she realized that he was on his phone and he was like messaging. She was like, oh, okay.
The old fella?
Yeah, he's probably messaging a loved one or saying, I'm injured. I'm really injured. I'm getting rushed to hospital. But she looked at his phone and this 78-year-old man was on grannieswantsex.com.
What?
Is that a website?
Chatting with some grannies.
Whilst he
in
was
the back
like
of the
having a
ambulance
cardiac
saying,
arrest in the
I'm
back.
going to hospital so I can't see you today or tomorrow.
Whoa.
And like full on. And I said, nah, you're joking. She goes, no. And then we both like got the website. It's a legit website. And it's like,
It would have to be such big font because you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
it'd have to be so easy
so
to use.
he's in the back of the ambulance and she's like, what the hell? And she didn't want to say anything, but she was like, okay, so you're feeling good? And he's like, yeah, no, I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm going right. While he's messaging these grannies. I was like, oh my God.
Are you on the website now, Ben?
I'm
I
Googling-
can see you
Don't
Google.
do it on the work computer.
Is it grannies.com.au
No,
or is it just .com?
grannieswantsex.com.
Oh, I googled grannies.com.
No.
I think I might be getting some viruses on the work computer.
What don't do it on the studio
Well, I'm
computer.
allowed to because I'm pretty sure the boss is listening.
Do you want me to
and I get the
it up on
thumbs
my
up.
phone?
Okay, thumbs up.
I've been on it.
Grannies want sex.
Imagine how rattled you'd be if you see grandma on it.
It says, I think we're blocked. As in, like, it won't let
I'll
me
show
search
you
it.
it. I'll show you it.
Feels like someone's searched that before then
Yeah.
to be blocked.
Make sure you're on incognito.
Oh, here we go. Oh, sorry. Granny's wanting sex. Is the
Oh,
one
okay.
Came up.
Grannies wanting sex.
Yes, I am 18 or older.
Is it IE or is it Y?
IE.
Let's have a look there, Belle.
These
Let's
ones
have
look young.
let's have a gander.
40?
Let's have a gander.
Man, there's a 55-year-old there.
Yeah, that doesn't look. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, there's some young grandmas here. These are like so many fake profiles, aren't they? Jesus, there's actually some pretty old grannies. Jesus Christ.
So is it if you're
Take some guts.
if you're a female, you join, and then if you're a man, you can just search the website and message them.
Yeah. Mate, they still want some.
Why didn't you do that
They
as
still
an
need some.
Why
Some
didn't you
people
do that as an
are
on-air story?
I don't know. Granny's wanting sex. I don't know.
You can do that pre-7.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, get ready to reheat that souffle tomorrow.
There's some,
You'll hear that on air.
there's some profile pictures that are far raunchier than others.
But
There's
yeah.
some people that are definitely not grannies in here, by the
Is
way.
there nudity?
Yes, but I think you could be a young granny as well. Like you could be 40 and
What's
be
the
a grandma.
youngest you could possibly be a granny if you had a kid
Well,
when
let's
you were, say, 13
let's say
and then
15.
13?
No, 13's a bit young.
Well,
15.
it
Let's go
happens.
15.
13 plus 13, 26. You could be a granny when you're 26.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's
There's
crazy.
some rough looking.
But let's say average 30
grannies.
would be youngest.
Yeah.
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 There's
Yeah,
some-
30, 15, 15, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah,
thanks.
right. There you go. Yeah, good stuff.
So yeah,
Imagine a
so
TV
fun
show
story
like
for you.
My Daughter's a Granny, and it's like a 45-year-old who had a kid when they were 15, who's had a kid when
So
they
they're
were
a
15.
great
We did, no, we
grandma.
did
They're
that
a
when
great
you
grandma.
when you were sick. We spoke to like teen mums, and there was like intergenerational teen mums. So we had like a grandma, like
Yeah.
a 40-year-old grandma.
No, but I just, I know that,
Oh, when you're
I
on
know
maternity,
I know it's
yeah.
definitely a thing, but I just like the idea of a TV show called
Yeah.
My Daughter's a Grandma because it's like, what? Because that means you're a great grandma.
Yes, and if we go with the 13 plus 13 plus 13 plus
Yep.
13 pattern, you could
Yep.
be My Daughter's a great-great-grandma.
Yeah.
and that would be blockbuster. Like that's season 3 type stuff.
Absolutely.
Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We should make that show, guys.
Good bonus bit.
Oh,
I'm glad you did it.
thanks, Ben. Eventually, 9 minutes later.
I always had faith.